Hello and welcome to this week's Stellar Developer Meeting. Today I have a guest, and the guest is actually from my own team. It's Elliot, and uh,
Hello.
and Elliot is going to talk about a project that he's been working on, and it's a fun project. In our team, in the DevRel team, we talked about it should be fun to learn to build on Stellar, and one of the ways we can do that is to play around ourselves and build some cool stuff we can play around with, and hopefully you find fun too. And then, of course, there's a lot of learning involved in that. So I'm very excited to introduce you to Elliot and his pet project, KaleFail. So
Yeah.
maybe you can just give a little introduction to how did this all get started? I think it has something to do with Kale.
Yeah. So, like Karsten mentioned, my name is Elliot. I am a developer advocate. Also here at SDF, I get to be a jack of all trades in a lot of ways. And I've loved for a long, long time, just messing around with Stellar, having fun, and just breaking stuff. As you said, Matthias, um, I was reminiscing with Tyler earlier today about all the ways that we used to kind of like jerry rig this chain of operations into creating some smart contract esque kind of thing. Um, but Soroban is 1 year old today, and we have actual, official, real life smart contracts on Stellar. And it's an amazing time to be developing in the community, and it's an amazing time to be here having fun. I think a lot of the time we get kind of like caught up in the seriousness of what we are doing here at Stellar and the real life implications of what we're building. And sometimes there's just room for like something on the lighter side, you know. And so Tyler started that in that vein recently with Kale. I think it was back in November he kind of launched this. And so I'll share my screen now. And yes, perfect. And so Kale, if you aren't aware, is sort of like this I'm going to mine coins kind of asset built on Stellar that Tyler, aka KalePail, uh, introduced. Originally, Enrique kind of created this SCM or FCM contract that initiated this sort of like mining competitive sort of asset concept, and Tyler took that and kind of went in a more teamwork oriented kind of direction with it. So if you aren't already, I highly suggest you start mining some Kale. It's a lot of fun. I'll demonstrate. It's real easy, real simple. If you're not already logged in, you can create a new account. I'm actually going to cancel that because I already have one, but I'm going to log in, and I'm presented with this. Oh, that was the wrong one. No, it wasn't. I'm presented with this prompt that I can plant something, and I'm going to sign that with my pass key. This is a smart wallet that I've been given um, to to plant and sort of get this opportunity to mine some kale. And everybody is kind of in this together. We're like community driven mining, so to speak, sort of like a pool if you've ever tried actually mining ether or bitcoin or whatever. And all of the people for about 5 minutes or so uh, pool their efforts to kind of hash and create this hash that has a certain amount of zeros. There's a lot of math. If you click on Tyler's project repository here, it'll take you to his GitHub, where there's all kinds of stuff about how the math works. And as a group of people, it all gets mathed together. And when you work and then eventually harvest after a block has been successfully planted and revealed, I don't know if that's the right word, then everybody can harvest and you get your kale back to you. Not back to you. You get kale minted to you. You can automate it with his website, and you don't have to use this website to do it, but it's a lot of fun, and it's honestly the easiest way to do it. We've got a leaderboard here, and you can see that Bree right here with her 3,000 or so is in the top 10. Congratulations. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. A lot of community is kind of built up around this, and it's a really good time to check it out and to get involved. The thing that everybody's been asking though is like, I've got this kale, I've got in this wallet 1.5 or so. Ooh, I get to harvest 1.5 or so kale that I've mined. What do I do with it? And up to now, it's kind of been like not that much. Like there's not really a market for it. You're not really like selling it, and that's kind of by design. So what I created, I'm affectionately calling KaleFail, and Tyler really loves that name. He's super excited about it, and it's just sort of a riff, a spin, if you will, on this kale asset that Tyler's put together. And so right now it is essentially a trading contract, and this contract makes it possible for you to send kale, just like his farming site. You can sign up here with a smart wallet. It'll give you a smart wallet, and you can put some kale into that contract, into your smart wallet, and then you can trade it for, right now we've got broccoli, we've got cabbage, we've got kohlrabi. If you don't know the farming lingo, those are all different cultivars of the same species of plant as kale. It's like, really, they're all the same thing, which is why it's always tradable 1-to-1. And so I'm going to send like 100 kale. Let's get some broccoli back. Make the trade, sign with your smart wallet, and then it thinks for a second, and it thinks for a second longer, and it thinks for one more second, and 105 broccoli now in my wallet. Let's do the same thing with cabbage. And it's essentially just the smart contract is holding on to the kale in the reserves, and you can see this update as the transactions go through. It's holding it in reserve, and it's minting new vegetables to me. Let's do kohlrabi as well. I'm going to make a trade, sign in, and I'm going to get as many vegetables as I dang well please, because I need the fiber or something. I don't really know what vegetables are good for, but now I'm sitting here. I've got 100 each-ish of broccoli, cabbage, kohlrabi. And the way I designed this contract is that it's kind of extensible, if that's the right word. I'm not entirely sure. To allow the owner of the trading post to update their stock or add new vegetables, take them away, and kind of expand and grow as the need arises. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to copy paste this link into the chat as well. And then I'm going to try my best to share a different window. What if I do that and present, and we can do this one? Does that work? Does everybody see that? Cool. Nope, that's the wrong. I don't want that. Okay, so the contract works. It's pretty simple. As far, it's split into like owner, customer kind of interfaces. And really there's one function for the customer. It's trade, right? You have an address for your customer, what vegetable you want to trade, how much of it, and whether or not you're buying kale, whether you're getting kale out of the exchange or if you are getting broccoli or whatever the case may be. And it just makes sure that it's an actual vegetable that we have in stock. It sets up a couple of clients, depending on if you're buying kale or selling kale. And then if it's kale that you're buying, that means kale is going to be transferred from the trading post contract into your own wallet. It's going to burn the broccoli or cabbage or whatever you're trading, and it's going to transfer from the trading post contract into your customer wallet. Otherwise, it's going to receive the KALE into the trading post contract, transfer, and then it's going to mint the vegetable into your smart wallet. But I also have this owner interface that allows me to add vegetables when I see fit. So if you'll all bear with me, I'm going to try this without having done this before. We're going to try this real live. I'm going to add Brussels sprouts. Raf has been asking for Brussels sprouts since the day I launched this. So I figure it's probably time to give him what he wants. So we're going to stellar contract, asset, deploy, source is going to be KaleFail. That's what I call it. Network is mainnet, and the asset is going to be this thing that I'm copy pasting right now. So what you don't know is that Brussels sprouts is far more than 12 characters, which is the maximum amount that can be an asset name. So I had a real hard time landing on a proper abbreviation for what Brussels sprouts should be. Okay, so the asset is deployed. So we will stellar contract invoke, source is KaleFail. No, yes, KaleFail. Network is mainnet. ID is going to be whatever this asset contract was. And we're going to invoke the set admin function. New admin is going to be the trading post contract address. And the transaction is signing and submitting. And then we get transaction successful. Where is it? Where is it? True. Cool. I always look for that. Now we get to add it to our trading post. Stellar contract, invoke, source, KaleFail, network, mainnet, ID is the trading post contract. And we're going to invoke the add vegetables function. New, nope, it's called vegetables to add, because I am real creative, Matthias. And we're going to make an array of, or vector rather, of addresses if we wanted to do more than one. And then we invoke. Simulation's okay. Submission looks like it's okay. Let's go back to, I know I'm giving you guys whiplash with all of these window switches. Okay, now we go back to KaleFail. And if we're lucky, yes, the vegetables available are now including Brussels sprouts. So I'm going to snatch up some of that. BR sprouts is about the closest thing. It was my wife's idea. She actually enjoys Brussels sprouts, which is a sin, basically. But now I am the first one with my very own Brussels sprouts. Be sure to grab some on your own. I've got a couple things up next for KaleFail. Number one is that it's a pain in the butt to sign up for KaleFail, for Kale, mine some Kale and get some stuff there. And then also have to sign up for KaleFail, transfer the tokens, do all that before you can actually do anything. So I'm going to set up an add signer kind of functionality where you can log in to KaleFail with your existing Kale wallet. I'm excited for that. Should be really soon able to do that. Next thing after that is this kitchen that Tyler and Jerome have been itching to get a hold of. Soon we'll have a salad like NFT, basically, just kind of a pretty simple, like, let's trade your tokens, burn the vegetables, and give you a really pretty picture of a salad or something else. I'm not sure what other produce related things might be in store. But soon after that, I've got in mind for like more fancier NFTs. If any of you have been around for like 4 or so years and remember the smart NFTs that Tyler put together, some maybe interesting concepts similar to that, but actually on Soroban. And even maybe like community submitted recipes or other kinds of NFT goodness, fun things that can be voted on maybe and approved and all that kind of stuff. I'm super open to any ideas you guys have or anything that people kind of generally want to see, or what do you want to do with your kale? Maybe we can make it happen. But yeah, that is KaleFail in a nutshell. Everybody go have some fun, enjoy the AI art that I stole from Tyler's site to begin with, and read all of the fantastic lore that Bree has put together. Like, it is phenomenal. All of the like 5 whole chapters, like it's a freaking novel. Go enjoy it.
Great. Thank you for the presentation. And actually, this is a fun game. It's fun. I think we all got a little bit addicted to farming kale, and it's really fun. But when you think about it, what if we take kale and KaleFail, it's actually a DeFi application because it has all the elements of a DeFi application. It's just gamified a little bit, and instead of using real token names or real coin names, real asset names, you're using kale and broccoli and Brussels sprouts. But this is actually a DeFi application, and
Exactly.
and as you are switching between when you're trading kale for broccoli, I hope a lot of people notice that you're just using passkeys. There was no complicated wallet access or anything like that. Just used a passkey. So this is actually it's a good example if developers want to play around and see what can you build on Stellar with Soroban, and how is this built? Because underneath all the fun stuff, it is actually a DeFi application, and there's a lot of Soroban features like passkeys that's included in this. So there's a lot of learning that goes into understanding how this works, and a lot of inspiration, and it's a good sample project if you want to learn more about this. So any other fun tech that I left out that I didn't mention that you can learn from looking at the source code here?
Yeah, the source code is definitely here, like available on the KaleFail site, like easy to get to. It's a Svelte kit application. If you're like into front end libraries and frameworks and stuff, that's just kind of how my brain works to build in that. But to your point that everything is passkey powered, like this contract, this smart wallet that I have, CBWN, whatever, doesn't have to hold like this space reserve of lumens. There's no lumens that it holds in. Oh, it's $163. Sweet. It doesn't have to hold any XLM to operate on the network. Everything is done through LaunchTube. So it's like this paymaster service that really abstracts the gas fees, sequence numbers, transaction envelopes, all the like difficult things about building on Stellar sometimes is like just taken care of. And so like no fees come out of my smart wallet. The same is true for when you're mining Kale. It's all done through LaunchTube, and it's just this incredible opportunity to use these smart wallets to like just have a wallet that you can like hand to somebody. You don't have to tell them like, okay, now buy lumens from Coinbase and do this to get your wallet set up. It's just ready for users to actually use.
So yeah, you just mentioned LaunchTube, and maybe if everyone is not familiar with what LaunchTube is, can you maybe go into a little bit of details how you're using LaunchTube and what role it plays in this?
Yeah, so LaunchTube is a service that we're kind of pioneering to make it easier for applications and developers to build applications that use Stellar. Like when you are trying to build a transaction, you need a sequence number, you need an account to pay that sequence number, you need a balance to pay those fees, you need a base reserve held in the wallet, like 1 lumen minimum to like make sure that your account is active, like a minimum balance requirement at some banks. And all of that can kind of be a pain for a developer if you're trying to get users set up on their wallet so that they can actually interact with the blockchain. So you got to either sponsor or give them 1 lumen to satisfy that base reserve. You have to pay whatever fees for those transactions to actually hit the network. LaunchTube, though, is you get a signed transaction from the user using my passkey wallet for these examples. And then you send that transaction to LaunchTube, and LaunchTube will take care of the sequence number, the fees paid. All like the developer has to worry about is getting a token with valid LaunchTube credits on it. And that's super easy, barely an inconvenience. If you go to testnet.launchtube.xyz/gen, it'll give you one for free. If you want a real life mainnet one, jump into the LaunchTube channel in our Discord, or reach out to myself or Tyler or Karsten, Chris. Any of the developer advocates would be more than happy to provide you with LaunchTube credentials so that you can start building in this same like super easy, super streamlined way. I feel like I didn't fully answer that. Sorry.
That's great. So yeah, I can only encourage everyone to go farm some kale, do some trading, get your broccoli, other vegetables, and then go look at the source code, because this is a really cool application. It really shows a lot of different features of Stellar and Soroban. So go have fun with it and go look at the source code and learn how Elliot built this. So I think this was all we have time for today, unless we have a couple of questions. I don't think we have one, but there's still for the quick, there is an opportunity to ask a question.
Anybody? Sweet.
Doesn't look like it, but thank you so much for joining, Elliot. It was fun to see KaleFail, and yeah, hope everyone is having fun with it. Thank you.
Have a great day.